Things are looking grim.
Heroes never die.
Form up.
Heroes never die. For a price.
良いハロウィンを
Till Valhalla.
Trick or treat.
Boo!
A wandering gunslinger seeking adventure. An aimless soldier, veteran of countless battles. The battle turned against the castle's defenders, as one of the heroes fell. The ground shook as Dr. Junkenstein's creation was revealed. Our tale begins in Adlersbrunn, where the lord of the castle has called for heroes to come to his aid and defend him against the mad Dr. Junkenstein. Dr. Junkenstein had been slighted by the lord of Adlersbrunn. Humiliated, he vowed to destroy the castle and kill all who had mocked him. Only 4 they were to defend the castle against Dr. Junkenstein and his minions. A reclusive alchemist, skilled in the healing arts. An archer from the east, trying to escape his past. The doors shuddered under the relentless assault.
Couldn't say no to the reward. Any last words? Now would be the time to say 'em. Get ready. Here they come. Time to earn our keep. This alchemy's not so bad. Witches, monsters, and dragons. What have I gotten myself into? Old man still got it. Alchemist, huh? Could have fooled me. We got ourselves 4 sharpshooters here. Stay right there. Here they come. This castle's not gonna defend itself. This is one stone-faced group we got here. Y'all ever try smiling? Hope I don't need my silver bullets. That's the devil's work. There's no end to these monsters. So, where are you from? Back home? Didn't expect to find another American so far from home. You fighting the war? You seem awful familiar. You sure we haven't met before? You don't seem like someone who'd put his faith in alchemy. You think this lord's good for the money? Castle looks like it's seen better days. You're not bad with a bow, but don't you think it's a little old-fashioned? What's home like for you, Archer? I can tell you and the soldier have some history together. Not sure how I feel about all this alchemy nonsense. Seems like hocus pocus to me. It seems so. That or the afterlife's a big disappointment. You have your cause, I'm just looking for a good fight. All due respect, witchcraft and magic potions are no match for a good 6-shooter. You ask me, you pump something full of these chemicals, electricity, and whatnot. That's not a man, it's a monster. Hey, Archer, what say you pass that flask around so we can all have a drink? This is thirsty work. You ever heard of Robin Hood? Doesn't seem to be any end to the monsters. Something tells me the worst is yet to come. Ronin? I like the sound of that. Not a chance. Just doing my part. It's high moon. It's time you met your maker. I'm trying to put it out of my mind.
A dark power calls you forth.
Just a little bit longer.
Those enchanted can never die. My servants never die.
Ooh, scary.
Alchemy is stronger than magic. Do not take too many chances. We can all survive this night. Our enemies approach. We cannot let them past. Lord of the castle cannot be bothered to protect it himself. I see. Restoring your health. Do not be too overconfident. The enemy's numbers are great. Keep your guard up. Well struck, archer. Do not let up until the last enemy has fallen. My potions should be able to see us through the night. Alchemical boost administered. I have empowered you! Attack! It should not be long now. The end is near. My alchemical boost is ready. Go, and I will give it to you. I am ready to give you an alchemical boost. Alchemical boost is charging. Alchemical boost is almost ready. My thanks. Sleep! Good night. Our enemies are advancing. I could leave you to die if you prefer. You do not trust my alchemy, do you? We must stop these abominations created in the name of science. Alchemy is a science. Her magic is something darker. Indeed, and much of it unhappy. If we survive the night, this should be our last battle. Why fight for this, Lord? You have never cared much for the nobility. I once met a man who could summon a dragon as you do. What reason brings you to travel so far from home? I will get us home safe, as I always do. This is not our first battle together, and not the last, unless he does something foolish. Just as it has always been, you attract strange companions. Science is a tool and a method. The hand that wields it decides its course. Here, take a healing potion. I see them. Burn! Let us hope we have the strength to see it through. Do you think that was the last of them?
Get ready for a shock!
Maybe in another life. My aim is still true. Destroy them before they get any closer. Our enemies fall. The enemy is within my sights. The castle still stands. The battle continues. It's about time for us to earn our keep. Not good. As though the numbers weren't already against us. Hold fast! Success depends on us! I don't stay in one place for too long. Came from a town called Bloomington, Indiana. What drives a man to such madness? Surely Dr. Junkenstein must be running out of his machines. The Reaper is a fearsome foe. He may still get the better of us. A soldier, an alchemist, an archer, and an oddity. A motley group we have assembled here. It's time to finish this fight, old friend. I dropped a healing well. The castle has not yet fallen. Victory is still within our grasp. The doors are not what I am concerned about. The worst kind there is, a wicked man. Tonight, we're all soldiers. I'm glad you fight on my side. No, I cannot rest until we have justice. The witches raised them from the dead. It is true, but today we share a common foe, the Reaper. I'll heal you over here. Come over here and get healed. They will not get past us. Watch each other's backs, and we will live to see the morning. Everyone still alive? What was that thing? There's a man like me fighting in every war. Maybe so, or maybe they're not as different as you'd think. Well struck. With one eye, you're still a better shot than I am with two. Our enemies approach. It seems our enemies are not slain so easily. Our enemies are brought back from the dead. You have to believe in something. May as well be the thing that keeps you alive.
They called me a monster, so I'll be a monster. A dark presence coalesced in their midst. The Doctor's creation had been twisted into a monster bent on destroying everything in its path. For the moment, the night was still, but it would not last. The four heroes gathered themselves, knowing that the battle was far from over. The defenders had held the Doctor's creations back, but they knew with a certainty it was not the last. And the monster fell just as his creator. Exhausted, battered, bruised, the four heroes entered the castle to receive their rewards. The Reaper fell. The enchanted pumpkin where his head ought to have been smashed against the flagstones. The night was quiet, and the castle was safe. With one last laugh, Dr. Junkenstein fell from the balcony to the flagstones below, and as the last of his laughter echoed from the walls of the castle, the battle was over, and the castle had been saved. The defenders were victorious, and Dr. Junkenstein's reign of terror was at an end. Another of the Doctor's failures, the Zombardiers, were mindless slaves that attacked anything in their way. Dr. Junkenstein's Zomniks hurled themselves against the doors of the castle. And as the witch fell, her magic had no more power. Dr. Junkenstein's creations fell lifeless to the earth, and as morning dawned, the castle was safe. The castle's doors still held, but they had been weakened. The door held for now, but the attacks continued. The constant attack had taken its toll upon the doors. The objective is being destroyed. The archer's aim was peerless, his hand a blur as his arrows flew, filling the night sky with their whispered song. The soldier was unrelenting, and his enemies fell before him. The alchemist's aim was unerring, her attacks exacting a heavy toll on the Doctor's creations. The enemies swarmed towards the castle. The soldier waited for a moment of tactical advantage to unleash his attack. The gunslinger knew that the time was coming. The archer could feel the wolf raging within him, howling to be unleashed. Oh! The Doctor had created an electric tire that bore down upon the castle doors. The Doctor's shock tire rolled toward the door. But the defenders made quick work of it. The gunslinger moved his finger over the trigger of his revolver. With a blur of his hand, shots rang out, each finding their mark. But the gunslinger sensed it was not yet time, and eased back. The archer unleashed a mighty battle cry, and summoned a massive two-headed dragon that devoured all before it. The archer unleashed a mighty battle cry, and summoned two massive wolves that devoured all before them. The alchemist's potion struck her ally. As it broke against him, his skin turned to iron, and strength flowed through him. The alchemist empowered her ally. Ah, if only she had a gallant, powerful knight fighting at her side! A waste of her alchemy, she thought privately. The gunslinger trained his sights upon his foes. The soldier squinted and took aim, each of his blows falling with impossible precision. The alchemist's potion empowered her ally. The alchemist had readied her ultimate potion, waiting for the moment to use it. The archer could feel the dragon raging within him, howling to be unleashed. A looming shadow appeared. Junkenstein's monster had come. Their enemies swarmed the castle walls, and the four heroes seemed powerless to stop them. The battle raged out of control, and the defenders were overrun. The heroes were in disarray as the Doctor's creation swarmed the castle and pounded at the doors. The gunslinger extended his arm, and in a flash, his foe was stunned. Once again, the alchemist's healing proved decisive. But her ally quickly woke it. The heroes fought valiantly, but they could not stop Dr. Junkenstein and his creations. The castle fell, the defenders were slain, and Junkenstein had his revenge. The Zomniks crashed against the doors, but for now, they still stood. Boom! Boom! The Zomniks crashed against the door, their bodies exploding as the old wood splintered and shuddered. The archer saw through the eyes of the wolf, sensing the presence of unseen enemies. Soon the Doctor's minions would flood into the castle, with the defenders helpless to stop them. For all the heroes' efforts, the doors seemed soon to be destroyed. With that blow, the defenders moved closer to victory. The Doctor's creation swarmed over the fallen hero, having claimed their first kill. The alchemist struck first, employing a potion that burned the Doctor's creation from within. The gunslinger struck the first blow, and soon the air was filled with the acrid smell of gunpowder. Without hesitation, the soldier waded into the fray. The defenders fought desperately, for the doors would not hold much longer. The archer saw through the eyes of the dragon, sensing the presence of unseen enemies. Despite his age, the soldier moved with a speed unmatched by the archer or the gunslinger, both 2 decades his junior. Amongst her many weapons, the alchemist possessed a sleeping powder. The end. Dr. Junkenstein vowed to destroy the castle and kill all those who had mocked him and his creations. Listen to my tale. I swear that it's true of a mad doctor, his monster, and his thirst for revenge. Dr. Junkenstein laughed as his minions arose, for tonight was the night he would have his revenge. Dr. Junkenstein squealed with delight as his minions arose, for tonight was the night of... Dr. Junkenstein squealed with delight as his minions arose, for tonight was the night of Junkenstein's revenge. Though they may have been suspicious of the alchemist's techniques, the other heroes were grateful for her healing potions. The alchemist's timely intervention saved her ally's life. The alchemist's healing brought her ally back from the brink of death. The defender would have fallen if not for the alchemist's healing. The alchemist threw her sleeping powder, and miraculously, the Reaper fell. The alchemist unleashed her sleeping powder, and with a crash, the monster fell. The alchemist's sleeping powder put the witch in a stupor. The alchemist struck Dr. Junkenstein with her sleeping powder, and, for the moment, he fell silent. Without a word, the archer loosed an arrow and claimed the first kill of the night. Mighty blows were struck, and the Doctor's creations fell like leaves in the forest. The alchemist was the first to strike as the battle began. The archer was the first to strike, the first of many. Dr. Junkenstein blanketed the area with his bombs, and the archer was caught in the conflagration. By then, the Doctor had gone mad, driving his creations forward, consumed with his need for revenge. Dr. Junkenstein lobbed his bombs at the castle, the explosions a percussive accompaniment to the sound of his laughter. Junkenstein howled with laughter as his bombs found their marks. It pained the soldier and the alchemist to see the Reaper, once their ally. He had been cursed, turned into a creature of remorseless hate. For a fleeting moment, the soldier felt a pang of sympathy for the monster. Owing more to luck than skill, Dr. Junkenstein overwhelmed the gunslinger. The gunslinger smiled. A worthy opponent had shown itself at last. But for the exhausted and wounded heroes, the battle was not yet over. In the midst of the battle, Junkenstein's most powerful ally appeared. Dr. Junkenstein had made a bargain with the witch, and she was not ready to release him. With one magic incantation, the witch brought Junkenstein and his creations back to life. The witch's magic made Junkenstein's creation more powerful than ever. The creature's body crackled with unholy might. The witch had returned the fallen from beyond the grave. Unknown to the heroes, Dr. Junkenstein had other allies. The alchemist fell as one of the doctor's bombs exploded at her feet. Dr. Junkenstein roared with laughter as he watched the soldier succumb to one of his bombs.
The doctor's creations are upon us! When the battle is won, we should all drink together. An old man, an alchemist, and a one-armed gunslinger against the doctor's horde. Here I was afraid this would be an easy fight. The castle still stands! We have almost won the battle! My allies depend on me. I must rejoin the fight, or all will be lost. The witch has raised them all from the dead. Inferior creations. Perhaps there is still a future for anachronisms. A village high atop a hill. There are cherry blossoms in the spring. I miss it dearly. Let them come. I could always use the practice. We drink when the job is done. Indeed, we have our own version. Ishikawa Goemon. He was boiled alive. He strikes me as a man who had too many free hours to invest in his pursuits. To be tested and to fail. Do you think the doors will hold? What sort of monster do you think the Reaper is? You say you do science. The good Dr. Junkenstein would profess the same. If he breaks his word, he has made some powerful enemies. What difference is there between the witch's magic and your alchemy? Impossible! Only my clan possesses the skill. My brother could, but he is dead. I was banished from my home for taking my brother's life. I can never return. I sense that you and the soldier have history together. My people would call you a Ronin, a masterless samurai. Getting tired, gunslinger? My bow is at your service.
Out of the night, the Reaper returned. The shadows took shape and coalesced into the form of the Reaper. The soldier recovered from his wounds quickly. The gunslinger returned to the fight, stoically ignoring the pain of his injuries. The archer hauled himself up through sheer force of will, refusing to succumb to his wounds. Once a man, the Reaper betrayed no trace of his former self. Unknown to all, Dr. Junkenstein had succeeded in creating life, a twisted abomination of inhuman strength and wickedness. The alchemist's body went limp as the monster struck her. The soldier crumpled to the ground as the monster easily overpowered him. The gunslinger fell, the monster's strength was too great. The archer could not withstand the monster's attack, and he was struck down. The monster bellowed in delight at the lifeless body before it. Or so it had seemed. As the battle raged, Dr. Junkenstein himself made a grand appearance. Dr. Junkenstein was slain, but his creations continued to fight. The archer drew his arrow and watched it soar through the night sky until it struck Junkenstein. The soldiers' strikes found their marks, and Dr. Junkenstein was slain. The alchemist killed Dr. Junkenstein, breathing a sigh of relief.
Do not let up! You are effective, I will give you that. We have staved off death, for the moment.
Our tale is about to begin. The archer slew the Reaper, the arrow piercing his dead heart. One of the defenders fell to the Reaper's guns as he turned to search for his next target. The Reaper slew the alchemist with a laugh. With a triumphant cry, the Reaper struck down the soldier. The Reaper slew the archer without a second thought. The gunslinger was no match for the Reaper. His body fell to the ground. The gunslinger's shot found its mark, and the Reaper was destroyed. The Reaper was cursed, bound as a servant to the Witch of the Wilds. To the hero's dismay, the Reaper was not so easily defeated. The alchemist hastily swallowed one of her potions and hurried to rejoin the battle. The soldier struck down the Reaper and hoped that it would be for the last time. The Reaper was destroyed. With a shot from his revolver, the gunslinger dropped the monster, who fell to the ground with an earth-shaking thud. The soldier repeatedly struck the monster, until, finally, it toppled to the ground, lifeless. The alchemist's concoctions coursed through the monster, and its body was destroyed from within. Arrows sprouted from the monster's body as the archer finally brought the creature to its knees. And the monster fell with a ground-shaking impact, its brief but bloody existence at an end. The monster was slain. The alchemist slew the Reaper, feeling a moment of sadness for the man she had once known. With a well-aimed shot, the gunslinger felled Dr. Junkenstein, but the battle still raged. The first attack had been repelled, but the battle had only just begun. The alchemist let out a scream as she fell. The archer was slain, crumpling to the earth. The soldier succumbed to the monster's assault, falling, defeated. The gunslinger's luck had run out. The tide of the battle turned as one of the defenders fell. The hero's defense was not enough, as one of their numbers fell. If only they had a shield to stand behind. As a full moon rose above the town, the four defenders gathered. They waited until they heard the sound of the Doctor's creations lurching toward them. The gunslinger's revolver claimed the knight's first kill. The gunslinger was unstoppable. With each pull of the trigger, another enemy fell, one after another. Dr. Junkenstein laughed as his minions arose, for tonight was the night of Junkenstein's revenge.
We shall leave the ground littered with their dead.
The doctor's shock tire exploded against the door, but for now, the oak held strong.
Let Russia never repeat the mistakes of this country. Don't be scared.
I'm so scared.
So good it's scary.
Did you hear something?
I smell trouble brewing.
Helden sterben nicht.
Be careful when crossing the street. Your pulse has increased. Are you frightened?
Aw, isn't that sweet? You trying to be scary?
Trick or treat? What do we have here?
Bang!
My servants never die.
The treat is a lie.
Muster your fears, lest they master you.
McCree here. I hear you, Pumpkin.
Araignée du matin, chagrin. Araignée du soir, cauchemar.
I'm not scared.
Zenyatta is everywhere. Listen to the whispers of madness. Frightening. The iris consumes you. Zenyatta is here. Darkness envelops all. Curses and madness be upon you all. Be consumed by the shadows. Frightening.
Sometimes you scare me.
Don't be scared.
I have something right here for you. You should be scared.